know.
Sam usually manages everything. This is terrible. I was like, oh, I'll go post it in like different servers I'm in. And then I realized I don't know where to post anything anywhere. Currently, we have no one watching.
Oh.
Here, I'm just gonna post it in my server for that, and then I'm
gonna mine too, but they're the same people.
It's the same people. I just flood all of our D&D servers with.
That would be really funny.
Small area.
Oh wow, I do look really
works. Cafe. I'm barely ever in Troublemakers because it's too intimidating for me.
Did you put it in Storytellers Hearth?
Oh, that's good. Does it automatically? Sam automatically pops up in Storyteller's Hearth. She handles all this. Alright, Storm, yes, you can go in the closet in Pride Month. I'm not. Okay, I give up on Troublemakers. Sorry, guys. Cool. I mean, it's still just us.
You want to talk about... I know you have a stream tomorrow, but do you want to talk about Grandmaster?
I'm barely into it at all, rereading it. You look like a vampire. I know I said that before, but it's even funnier because I have very like warm colors going on over here. You look good. You're a hot vampire, but you're still a vampire.
I'm just sat right behind a window, and it is very cloudy. So not only is it cool, but any sort of light is washing out. I swear I have contour and blush on. You just can't tell.
I can kind of see it. I love that you got like properly ready like for the day. I don't know if you did that for the stream or not, but the back half of my head is still wet from the shower.
Yeah, I washed my hair last night. I was just threw my hair into this morning, and this is a zip up from school, and I'm wearing sweatpants that you can't see.
Vibes. I wear the sweater I wear every stream. Every WIP Wednesday.
It's a beautiful sweater. I love it dearly.
It's so comfy. It's so and like cooling as well. Like the fabric remains cool.
Well, I mean,
and I don't know why, or maybe I'm just insane, but it feels like it remains cool, and I'm here for that. I am going to, as soon as the first sprint starts, go downstairs and get breakfast because I woke up at like 6:30 and then went no, and then went back to sleep a couple times.
Yeah. Wait, I texted you at 6:30 and I was like, "You're definitely not up. Were you up?"
I think I looked
at 6:30 your time,
and then fell back asleep till 8:30, and then woke up like every 20 minutes from then on. And then eventually I was like, I really need to, like, I saw Sam saying that she is not gonna do today because she's
okay
building a bed.
Oh, right, I knew that.
Yeah, and then I was like, I might, at 10 o'clock, I might push back the stream. And then I didn't go back to sleep, but I definitely wanted to. And honestly, when I texted at 10:30 in the server that the stream is delayed, I could have just gotten up then and taken the same amount of time to get ready as I ended up taking because I laid in bed for an hour before getting up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just how it be. Oh, our sprint started. Replay. Okay, see you on the other side.
Oh my god.
How'd you do?
Still just, I did good. I wrote like 500 something words.
Are you still doing the voice to text?
A little bit of that and a little bit of straight up typing, mostly just because my characters' names, except for Imogen and Connor, the voice to text just does not. Does not know how to spell it.
Give them different names, like Ian or something, and then at the end do Control F and just replace them.
Oh, that's smart.
I did, when I was writing Shadows, I did voice to text, and it hated Ferrenz so much, so I called him Frank. And then I would just go and change all the Franks to Ferrenz. And then people were like, hey, is Ferrenz just a shortening of your last name? I'm like, no.
Not on purpose.
I didn't realize that until like someone pointed it out and they're like, hey, and I'm like, no. Willow was my self-insert.
Real.
She's what I thought a mentally stable adult was like. Spoilers, she's not. I wrote like 3:45, although my first line of the scene is beat of happy thoughts about Rye. Because I'm like, okay, trying to get in the mood or like the mindset for this
depressing ass scene.
And I'm like thinking about all that, and I'm like, no, for the fucking scene to land, I want a happy opening. Because we just let off of the really cute scene that I sent yesterday where they caused Jason for the first time. And I was like, okay, we'll have a little thought or like a little scene or a little like paragraph where it seems like something like we don't know what's going to happen in this scene, like Jason thinking about the situation, or thinking about like other things he's been worrying about, and then he opens the door and is asshole with dad's there. And then I wrote our villain of the series is a bad guy. Who would have guessed?
Who could have seen this coming?
But I'm doing like it's not a villain speech, but it's like it's
not a villain speech.
Yeah, so far the Emperor, who doesn't have a name. I think I gave him a name, but I have no idea what it is. Because
you just call him the Emperor the whole time. If
that's how I have one person. No one's gonna refer to him as his name other than this one like witch lady she's the bard, like that might be a primordial being.
Fun.
Or might be an immortal. I don't know. Something's happening with her. But she's the only person that refers to him as his name in like one scene. But he's there, and I've been the entire time from Jason's perspective referring to the Emperor as the Emperor. And this is the first time I refer to him as Jason's father. And I hated it, actually. I was like, wow, this is like emotionally I think it's good. But fucking hell.
I'm sorry you had such a hard sprint. I had a lot of fun. Elio found out that Najee and Imogen's apartment, there's just a plastic water bottle full of what might be blood in the fridge. And he's like, okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
What else could it be if not blood?
It's a weird school. It could be anything, really.
It could be like paint.
I'm almost sure that's blood, because if it's paint, why is it in the fridge?
Yeah, well, I stored my bottle of fake blood in my room.
But that was labeled as fake blood, wasn't it?
Yeah, but if I put it in a different container or something, possibly I could.
Would you have put it in the fridge?
I would not. I don't think it's supposed to be frozen. But I did have like blood-stained clothing that was fake blood. Yeah. Mostly from you.
I remember I was there. I was about to say
you were mostly the one.
I was the one wearing the
blood stained on.
Every day I would walk home from a shoot with the entire side of my body stained red from the fake blood.
Yeah.
It always came off of my face really easy, but my body, I looked like I had been beaten bloody.
Yeah, it was two different types of, one was like the scab blood and the other one was just a bottle of blood. I really love the scab one because it looked semi-hardened but also remain a little tacky, but it maintained its shape really well.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So fun and bloody and running around in the woods. That's sort of the energy I'm trying to encapsulate in Nocturne.
I'm glad I can influence your work so much.
I realize I haven't actually said what the name of my whip is.
Yeah.
Right now, it's Nocturne of a Shaded Wood. That might change just because I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I don't think it's terrible.
I like it. It's very long.
It is very long. It was originally just Nocturne, but we will get there. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, it can be long and people will just refer to it as Nocturne.
Yeah, probably. Or I hope I don't get it. Wait, I have to see what the acronym would be. Because if it's a stupid acronym, I have to change it.
Shaded Wood. N-O-A-S-W.
Nosh, that's terrible.
W. Noswa. Noswa.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Well, people don't have to call it that. Oof.
Anyway.
That's totally fine.
So Elio found fake blood. Or real blood. It is real blood, but
it is real blood.
It's very much real blood.
And then dipped.
He was like hanging out in the apartment and he was hanging out with Connor and Connor had to leave very suddenly. And Elliot was like, okay, I'm not going to snoop. Only snoop in the common areas. He's like, bedrooms are off limits because I do have some morals, but I will snoop around their living room and get
There shouldn't be anything illicit in someone's fridge other than like alcohol.
He was looking for water.
It's like, oh, I'm looking for water. Let me check the fridge. So was he snooping or was he looking for water? Because those are two very different things.
He was snooping. But he didn't find anything. So he was like, okay, I'm going to get some water before I go to class. And then he found something.
So he's like, I'm snooping. This is boring. I'm thirsty.
And then he found something. And he's like, why do they have blood in the fridge? So he finally confronts Connor about it. And Connor's like, okay, I care about you, so I'm not going to lie to you, but I am just going to tell you that there are some things just you don't need to worry about. And that's all the explanation he gives.
That is the worst thing to be told. He's like,
yeah, he's like, we are hiding something from you, but just don't worry about it. And he was like, who the fuck says
don't
that?
Worry about it. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just turn off the part of my brain that is worrying and just not.
So yeah, Elio is convinced that Connor is in a cult.
Which
he's not a cult.
Yeah, which honestly kind of tracks. What defines a cult?
They don't have like a cult leader. They all have to be there. They're being held hostage more than they are in a cult.
Fair.
It's still very culty. Because they've got blood in the fridge that they use for emergency
it has the vibes of a cult, even if it doesn't fit the definition of a cult.
Absolutely, it does. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'm having a lot of fun with before Elio knows what it is, what the hunt is.
I always love that phase of kind of mystery or that kind of thing where I'm like, I love the
wild shit.
And
all the wild shit he's coming up with.
For me, I always get slightly disappointed sometimes when it transitions to the now knowing, because you can sometimes tell when the author kind of lost steam. They're like, oh, well, the reveal happened. And you're like, wait, no, we've been building up to this. Not to put any pressure on Ryan, but
there's no pressure. I'm so excited because once he learns about the hunt, he gets to join the hunt. And that's my favorite part of writing. I'm so excited to write a hunt because they're going to just run around in the woods until dawn. Who doesn't want to do that? As they have to do.
What are they doing in the woods?
Chasing each other down.
There's other?
One prey. Yeah.
This is very elegant.
Every month, there's one prey, and the other two are the other two, except whatever entity is haunting them into their body, and they chase the prey down. Either the prey doesn't get before dawn, or the hunters catch them before dawn. But either way, they have to spend the whole night in the forest.
They should have had another member of their group that they killed.
That's interesting.
Like, it should have gone wrong in the past. Because right now we're like, oh, we have this thing happens, but we haven't dealt the consequences other than like some sore feet.
Actually, no, there's a lot of consequences because they're consistently very injured and they're sustaining enough injuries that they're getting like chronically injured. Like Connor's thing is that he doesn't to run, he likes to hide. So he's been climbing the trees. But as soon as he gets spotted, he jumps down and lands on his wrists. So he's consistently injuring his wrists.
I broke my left wrist like that when I was a small child.
Yeah. So there is, for some reason,
Najee is like that.
Oh.
And
wow.
Yep, and I was 3. Wow. I was 3 years old.
Christ.
I'll show you the picture of the cast someday. It's such a cute little cast. It's like this big, and you're like, oh, that's cute, but also that means someone this big got their body part broken. My mother has the cast when I was 3, and then the cast when I was like 9, and broke the same wrist in a trunk in her room of keepsakes. And I'm like, so cute. It is so, it's like cute, but they probably stink a bit. I'm glad they're not in my room. I like that she has them for like the oh, I can go look at it and be like, I grew up. But also,
yikes.
Also my like around the time of the second cast, my bones were liquid, and I would able like near the second half of having the cast on, you're supposed to have it on for a while. I had like worn away all of the padding that makes it so the actual cast material doesn't hurt, and it was like scraping along my thumb, so I just would pop it off to sleep. I would just take it off my wrist. This is like sculpted to the shape of my hand, and I just was liquid enough at that age to just whoop, and then I put it back on in the morning. And I like nowadays, I'm hoping this wasn't, but I sleep like I'll notice I'll be like sleeping like this. And I'm like, oh, I really hope I wasn't doing that when I had broken wrists. But I do have like chronic wrist issues that will probably turn into, I'll have arthritis, and then if I make it 10 more years, I'll be happy. Without arthritis.
That's horrible.
It is horrible, but
Can I ask you more about that later?
Yes. Go ahead.
To Connor.
Yeah, go ahead and ask about my wrist injuries. Now that
they kill someone, I'm like, oh my god, did they kill someone?
I mean, it's way
just like rerouted my brain to make them like, you know, they're my main characters. There's the victims in the situation, but also,
yeah,
did they kill someone?
Well, they wouldn't have chosen to kill the person. You'd be the fun combo of like, it was our hands that did it, but not our minds. Yeah. And then it would do a punch up of their whole guilty secret thing, and then another punch up of your main character coming in and being like, "Oh, I'm the 4th one." She's like, "No, you're the 5th."
There wouldn't be a 5th. They're trying very hard to keep him away.
Yeah.
Oh, because that makes what I had planned for Connor very interesting. Because something I'm interested in Connor is like him secretly kind of enjoying it because he likes how special it makes him feel. He's like, this is objectively a horrible thing, but it's happening to me. So what's special about me?
Maybe he doesn't know that someone died. And if he lets that like, oh, this special thing that's happening, that out, like that show it all, that's when he gets the whammy of someone died because of this. It's not just, you know.
If he doesn't remember, that's interesting. Interesting. I have a lot to think about now. Thank you.
I'm glad I gave you something to think about. I always vote for more death in other people's things and not my own because I get sad about my own. But it's fine.
Yeah. There was another character that I was planning to have. They don't have to be alive.
They don't have to be alive! So true. Hi, you get to exist, but as you get to haunt the narrative.
Haunting the narrative. See, that's just That's just Jackie Taylor. Like, I can't just write Jackie Taylor. I will never watch Yellow Jackets.
No, Haunting the Narrative is a classic. Hi, JC.
No, I know. I love Haunting the Narrative. Hi.
We're about to go into our second sprint.
Yes, we are.
Thank you for joining us and saying something in the comments. This is really just a stream of Roan and I chatting, and I think that's funny.
Yeah. Alrighty. I'm gonna have a snack.
Okay, I am still here.
Oof. How'd you do?
Okay. I did pretty well. Let me check my word count. That's Discord. There you go. I started a new chapter.
New chapter.
462 words.
Nice. Yeah. I also wrote about 500, give or take.
Nice. I went from heavy chapter to Winifred and Rye playing with magic. And I was like, oh! Bit of a whiplash.
Yeah, I can imagine. I had Elio out again. Yes, hi, I'm Rowan from chat.
Likely place for Elio
the whole time
being sad. Yeah. This little bit of world building in that I'm doing right now, I'm just like, this is relevant for later stuff, but is so random between the last like couple scenes being so intense and stuff and heavy. And I'm just like, hey, look, it's a magical practice room.
Ooh, we love that. I think that might be a much needed break.
A what?
A much needed break.
Yeah. Well, we got like cute scene, and then we got intense scene, and now we're getting fun magic scene. JC did some editing. Nice. What are you working on, JC?
Nice.
I have a terrible memory. Yeah. Sam could probably go like, "Oh, you're working on this thing," or "Are you working on this other thing you mentioned 6 months ago?"
I don't know how she does it.
I don't either.
She remembers it forever. Yeah.
She's like, oh, my memory suffers because migraines. And I'm like, this is the peak of my memory, actually. This is as good as it gets, and I got nothing. But
yeah. I never remember what we're working on because I always know because I'm hearing updates about it. If I don't hear regular updates, people are working
on. Oops, I forgot like half the scene. It's fine. I'm not there yet.
Outlining is hard. I know I keep complaining about this in Sam's Discord, but this is genuinely difficult, and there's a reason I've never done it before. Not never done it, but never.
You're doing like a zero draft. You would be having the same issue doing an outline or just writing straight right now.
Yeah. You're right. It's just a practice.
Planning is hard.
Yeah. I have planned my stories before. I've just never gone into that much detail.
Yeah.
I am worried that when I get to the end, though, I'm going to feel like I've already written it and not want to still have to write the first draft. But I think
don't have that issue. Like, I know that's a thing a lot of writers struggle with, but I don't. Because I feel like every time I go through it, I find a new thing to add or love about my story. And if I feel like it's too boring, that means it probably is, and I should go fix that. But that's just a me thing, that's just my mindset, not a universal.
Yeah. I think, honestly, maybe giving a break after I finish the outline, depending on how long it takes. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of a break before I start the first draft.
That's not true. You might feel super motivated. You're like, okay, I did all the hard part. Now I can actually sit down and make it pretty.
It's fair. I don't think it's going to be super pretty on the first draft, though.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be in prose. It just won't be good prose yet.
Yeah, well, it's writing.
Writing.
I have gotten to a point where I'm like, I can write something and I'm like proud of it, not because of what it is currently, but what I can see it being. Like when I share little blurbs and stuff, I'm not being like, oh yeah, this is awesome, this is great, like this is ready to be published and stuff. I'm going, hey, I really liked the way this went, and I'm excited to see like where it's going. I have a really good one here in line. And that's what I want to like show off. And sometimes I'm like, I send stuff and I'm like, yes, this is completely riddled with spelling errors and grammar, and that one line's clunky, but I'm showing you the vibes.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there, or I can't wait to feel about my novels. I think I'm at that point in my playwriting ability where I'm mostly happy with it, but novels are a whole nother beast, man. I have to do things other than dialogue and stage directions, which is crazy. Crazy that I have to do that.
Turns out this was supposed to be on Sam's channel.
Oh. Well, we're on your channel.
I figured her bailing meant it was going to be mine anyways. Like, she wouldn't be on hers. It's fine. No judgment. Oops. I was like, that's weird. The previous one was for 41. 41. I'll just go to 43 because that's my next one with the face on it. Oopsies. Alright, what did JC say? I love outlining. I can't even start drafting until I have an outline. Yeah, that's fair. I don't understand why people think that's not the same as writing the story. Just giving a structure. I think there are varying, very, very wide varieties of outlines and such.
Calling this an outline almost feels like a disservice, just how I know it's going to be. Not that an outline is bad, but it's just I don't know. I guess I have like preconceived notions of what an outline should look like, and what I'm doing right now is not that, and is going to be much longer than an outline. I think is supposed to be. How long an outline is supposed to be, but this is shaping up to be like 20K.
Yeah.
So I'm calling it a zero draft just for my own sanity.
And that is completely fair. This is retroactively no longer WIP Wednesday. It's just a Rowan and CB stream on Wednesday. Because I fucked up. So I'll be making a different thumbnail at some point after the stream and fixing that everywhere. But it's fine. My fuck up.
It happens.
It happens.
Happens to the best of us.
But yeah, when I started writing, I didn't have an outline. But it's hard for me to talk about when I started writing and outlines and stuff because I was 10. So I have
even
written
for Storm's Heir. Though you had an outline that was really different when you started.
For Storm's Heir, I came up with it roughly when I was explaining to Gigi, the singing teacher at Simon's Rock, how to write a book. I was like, you come up with an idea, and then I pulled an idea about the fucking dragon's egg and the prince out of my ass. And then I was like, oh wait, I'm actually really liking this idea. So I went and I wrote down an idea, like a like flow of consciousness kind of draft. But a lot of it was stuff happens here. And then I didn't work on it very much. And then I fully outlined it during my outlining a movie class because I needed an idea and I was like,
with
I
Dan?
want this. No, at Ithaca.
At Ithaca.
And then I was supposed to write up to the first act. But we were only supposed to write 30 pages. And I'm like, so this is a fantasy movie. So it's like 2.5 hours, not 1.5. So I stopped at around 30 pages. And I was like, I think the dragons attacked and he left for the capital. And then later, hi Sam, I switched it to a prose, but I basically like ripped out the formatting and stuff. And then I was like, this is terrible. I was like, this is awful. For some reason, who knew it doesn't translate that easy. And then it was only until my last semester at college where I'm like, other than my thesis, I'm not really working. Like, I worked on a little bit over my time at Ithaca and WIP Wednesday and stuff, but I was mostly working on schoolwork, movies, and stuff like that. Then I started, like, for real, like, oh, I have to start this from the ground up again. And that's what I've been doing recently. JC it says there, heavy outliner, like character sketches and everything. My outline can be around 20 to 25K.
See, that's really comforting, actually.
Yeah. My outline is sparse, and it's 11,600 words. And it's a sparse outline. Comparatively to some other people's. For me, I'm like, wow, this is a detailed outline. It's not. It's not really. Some scenes are very detailed. A lot of scenes for like, oh, I know how this scene goes really well in my head. I don't need to write it out as much because I'm like, oh, this scene has been the same since I came up with it. Like, I know the emotional beats of this scene. I don't feel as much the need to write it out, but scenes where I'm like, okay, I have to work this scene out to figure out what happens here. That's the scenes in my outlines that are longer. So I'm looking at it right now. And I am on page 9 of 25 of my outline. I'm on chapter 11, though, of the book, and 11 of 21 of the...
Storm's Heir is going to be a dense book, though. Like, it's high fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm at 45K, and I'm like, okay, I'm less than halfway through this book, I think. Even though I'm like... my original idea was like, oh yeah, the end of Act 1 is they leave the capital. And I'm like, no. I think it's a 4-act book rather than a 3-act structure. That was something like learning film let me relax a bit with my, like, this is the format of a story, is 3-act, and there's a blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, this is a 4-act book. And so at the end of Act 2 is when they leave the capital.
I think when I realized that the 3-act story structure and the hero's journey are more tools that are meant for like analysis than they are for creating the arc of a story for me, made my life a lot easier. Being able to use it to analyze the ebb and flow of other pieces made my ability to write them without feeling like boggled down by the structure was very helpful.
They're good to know, but
absolutely,
they're not things to die by. It's like any learning how to do a skill. You learn what the foundations are so you can go off and do your own thing. But you need to. Yeah. You don't need to, but it really helps to know like what a climax is, what a turning point, what a darkest hour is. Because there are still things like, this isn't, we're not exactly following hero's journey, but we are taking the ebb and flow of a story and learning it.
Like for me, structure, obviously for everybody, structure is important, but use templates or not.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you, JC. Yeah, with acts and stuff, learning what a midpoint is kind of like boom my brain at one point, and I was like, oh, I don't need the majority of the book to be this like same thing right here happening, like the second act to be this like big thing. I'm like, it's before whatever happens at the midpoint and after whatever happens at the midpoint. And that's just how it is in my brain. Like the midpoint, something big's changing. So it's easier for me to just go, and that's a different act because that big thing is changing. In our final, actually, I'm going to star this comment for
so we can come back to it.
Thank you, Casey, for asking. Cool.
Yes, thank you very much. Alright.
Cool. I think I fucked up all of Sam's different slides and stuff, which I it's slightly clusterfuck, but it's fine.
It's fixable though. We can.
It's fine. All right. See you guys on the side.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Boom.
Okay, I can hang out for a few more minutes before I have to go. But
what are you going to?
So it's my family gives out a scholarship to one of the Boys and Girls Club kids for like one of the grads, but usually my aunt does the presentation for the recipient of the scholarship, but she can't go, so I'm filling in for her.
Hey,
so I have to like look nice and
very adulty.
Very adulty. Give a speech.
Very adulty.
Yeah.
Helping out the
out for a
children.
few, and then I need to go change and leave.
Nice. How'd you do that sprint?
As productive as I have been, mostly just because I think I'm losing steam a little bit. But I mean, it was good. Still keeps passing out. All right, I was gonna tell Jake about the plot. So I am writing. What is the working title? Is Nocturne of a Shaded Wood. I think that's going to change. It is an adult horror fantasy, loosely based off of the absolutely insane time I had at undergrad at a tiny little school in the middle of the woods in rural Western Massachusetts. Fun fact: rural Western Massachusetts is very creepy.
It is. Rowan and I met at this school. That's how we got to each other.
And it is basically freshman class summoned something in the woods, something evil in the woods. And
as they want to do.
He demands blood is all I have. I'm obviously still in the outlining.
The evil thing in your woods is a man.
It's a malevolent black mist.
Oh, okay. You said he, or at least I heard he, and I was like, oh, I know this part.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not a he. They're not a he. It's not a he. It doesn't have a corporeal form.
I'm trying to figure out how much I wrote this time, but I don't remember where I left off.
No, me neither. I mostly did just like a lot of thinking.
I think around here. Or around 500 words.
I'm going to hop off as I have to leave in 5 minutes, but thank you for having me. It was nice seeing. I always want to say it was nice seeing you all chat.
Chatting with you?
Just saw. It was very nice chatting with you all, and hopefully, if Sam is doing sprints later, I can join after I go to my event.
Yes.
But I will catch up with you guys soon, and I think in 2 weeks for another Wednesday. And in chat. You can find me nowhere. I don't have a social media presence. You can find me if you go and yell in the woods.
I have full custody, like I said earlier.
This is true.
I
Alrighty.
control Rowan appearances.
Bye.
Bye. Go.
I'm going. Okay, bye.
Bye. Ta-da! I wrote things. I have, Rye turns into a dragon, and that means I have to have Rye figure out how to turn into a dragon, which means I need to figure out how to turn into a dragon, and like the emotions and feelings that come with turning into a dragon, like the actual act of transformation. Yes, you can find Rowan in the Realm Discord, Sam's Realm Discord, which I think is linked below. I don't know. It has the normal Sam links in the stream description. And so I'm like, I did a little joke, and then I did a little sad thing. And I'm like, okay, I did the things that aren't gonna work. And now I have to do the thing that is gonna work, which is basically think about being a dragon. It's not very complicated. I mean, it is complicated because you're changing everything about your physical form into something else. But he's not gonna get it on this attempt. But we get his half dragon form, which is mine and his future husband's favorite form. So I think he's gonna go like piece by piece of his body and like think about shifting it and like adding wings and talons and horns, and like those are things that you can imagine being added to your body. And he's going off of a sculpture that was an artistic interpretation of a dragon's blessing earlier. But that's kind of where he's gonna stall, and be like, oh, I don't have a next step from here right now. So JC, hey, sometimes you have to figure out what not to do or what won't work so you can get to the right place. Exactly. So that's what he's doing, and slightly what I'm doing with him. Sorry, making my desk wobble. I am gonna have him transform later, and that's again not a willing transformation. And then finally he will do a willing transformation. But that's not for a while. I'm on chapter 11. There we are. Yeah. Trial by fire. Funny you say that. Yeah, definitely. I kind of want to have him have the thought when it's not working that maybe he can have Winifred, who's a witch, like just throw a fireball at him and see if that works. And part of me's like, with the two of them together, honestly, they might attempt that if he were to actually suggest it. But I think he's gonna be like, I don't want to risk if that doesn't work. Maybe if he gets like he'll be like, maybe if I get super desperate on this. But still don't want to die by fire. That would be. He's not afraid of fire now, but he's definitely aware of it in a way he was not before. Are there going to be other people around when he transforms? You can always use the other characters to help describe the transformation as well. Sorry, my dad just got a. Ooh. My dad's car just died. Wow. His nice Ford F-150 just died. Okay. Not this time, and not. I think at some point it'll. Yes. A later transformation will be from his point of view, or they're mostly from his point of view rather than other people's. One of them is going to be from Jason's point of view. And then when it finally works, that'll be from his point. I am keeping it. Yes, I could put it from other people's point of view for like big things, but I'm like, no. Even though that's like an easier solution, I feel like this is something that needs to be in his perspective. Oh, it says, hold on, we're connecting to your channels, which makes me worried that it is no longer connected. Hello? To activate chat, please enable save. Weird. Okay. Let me know if that just like crapped out. Okay. The little notification disappeared. Sorry, weirdness is happening. But yeah, I'm like, it would be easier to have his like big thing be from someone else's point of view, but I think I am gonna do it from his. At least that's what I'm planning on. If I end up actually doing it from someone else's point of view, I never said anything to the contrary, and of course that is the perfect way to show it. But I don't think that's what I'm gonna do as of right now. I think all of his transformations except one from his perspective. But I'm trying to. Oh, okay, awesome. I'm trying to have it so it's like balanced, or there's like a direct correlation between the sensory feeling and magic. Thank you. And like for example, in Percy Jackson, every time he like uses his water powers, there's a pulling sensation in his gut or like behind his navel, I think is the phrase, but it's like a pulling sensation, and it's like always in that exact place. And so every time we get a pulling sensation behind his navel, then it's like, oh, he's about to use his magic powers or his water powers. So, and I really like that. Where there's like a direct physical correlation or even visual correlation, just a correlation, something other than just I say a word and magic happens. I wave my hand through the air and magic happens. Or that's cool too, but that's not how the magic in this world works, because Rai doesn't need to wave his hand through the air or say magic words. So I'm like, I need something to have magic happen. Like fucking BBC's Merlin, his fucking eyes glow for a second. He goes, ooh, very intently. So I'm just like, I need a little something for him. I think I'm having it like a buzz underneath his skin, because he's a storm dragon. So electricity is his main thing. So the like buzz of electricity. Like, does his hair stand on end? Not quite. No, because that would look doofy. Maybe in like super magic moments, his hair like lifts up a little, like just in an interesting way, but not in a like sproing kind of way, because he needs to be cool, hot, and sexy when he does his powers, not dumb looking, not Albert Einstein or the crazy scientist guy from Back to the Future. I'm glad you heard everything. Thank you for enjoying a physical tell. But static, yeah, but like the feeling of static, but I'm not making his hair go short. Other people around him at one point, they're like the hair on their arms will probably rise, and like they can feel it in the air, like the taste of ozone. But for him, okay, we have an okay but like from Sam, which makes me worried. I'm seeing, what if he does it and everyone else gets Einstein hair? That's what I just said. Although maybe not everyone else. Jason's like long ass ponytail just goes in the back. Both my parents are having terrible car days. No, you said hair like rises a bit. I'm talking comedic poof. I'm also not serious. Yeah. Maybe when he's mad and he can do it to bad people, but not in cool scenes. He perfects the skill of zapping other people so their hair goes poof, so he can like fuck with people during council meetings and shit. That would be something he would do. But I want everyone to be looking majestic during fight scenes, because yes, like dirty, covered in blood, kind of majestic, you know? Talking like Aragorn, Geralt of Rivia, you know. You look terrible, but also really cool. That fun combo. All right. Our wrap-up sprint. Cool. Just 15 minutes, and then we'll probably do a little bit on the other side, and then I'll probably. So, myself. I mean, you guys are here, and I appreciate it. Okay. Wrap up, spray it. Let's see how much I did that for 15 minutes. I did 287 words. I feel like I write 287 words quite often, just like that exact amount. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm making that up, but it feels like I do. I finished the shape-shifting scene. I think it went well. I decided I'm not showing what his form looks like to the audience at this point. Like, he feels it, and then I end the scene. Because I want his partial shift to be from the one time a shift is seen from someone else's perspective. I wanted it to be the audience's first time seeing it. So we get full dragon, from Rye's perspective, the shift itself. But we see the full dragon from Jason's perspective as well. He doesn't know it's Rye for a while. And this piece of hair is like horizontal. And then, but we'll see the dragon half shift from Jason's perspective, and that's Jason's like, mark me down a scared and horny moment. Monster fucker. Anyways, my grandparents watch these streams, but that's fine. I don't care. Hi, Grandma and Grandpa, if you're watching. Pretty happy with this. I went to the next scene as well, where I'm like, the conversations aren't flowing in the ways that I thought they were from the outline, just in like the communication of information. It's changing subjects, like, here's really important information that like emotionally impacts you, and then here's some other emotionally important information that emotionally impacts you, and I'm like, it's wild to do the 1-2 whammy of those. Or even worse is, here's emotionally rich information that impacts you, and here's this other information that's world building, but it's not very emotionally charged. In that order is not great. So I'm like, okay, I'm just weaving all in this information in different moments and scenes, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. This is why we do detailed outlines at Rowan. Couldn't be me. Should be me. And then the next scene starts where I want to communicate that he doesn't figure out the half shifted for him, and then is all of a sudden fantastic at it. So we get the implication that he figured it out. And then the next scene starts out with him being yelled at for making sure his claws don't scratch Winifred's table, because he can't figure out how to make them go away for now. Which is fun. I think it's fun. And then I get to communicate relevant information as it goes. So yeah, that's what I did. So my total for this stream, I'm thinking, is around 1,000 words, maybe more. Okay, maybe a lot more. Yeah, it was a lot more. 1,501. Yay! Oh wait, fuck! I forgot a whole page, or a little bit of page. It's gonna be like 1,520 or something like that. 1,527. Go me! Nailed that. So yeah, that's what I did this stream. I have met my goal for the day. I need to read Grandmaster for Friday, so I think Sam's going to be doing reading and cleaning sprints, and I will probably participate in those. Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys for joining me. Shout out JC. JC, I only got about half this chapter edited, realizing this chapter is longer than I thought it was. No worries. We love a chunky chapter. Thank you. Cleaning love, or just like love. All I need is love. Chris's desk area or your desk area? I feel like you recently organized your desk area. And then mine. Okay. Cleaning love. Let's see. What else am I gonna say? We don't touch each other's desk areas. That's fair. Yeah, I wouldn't like it if someone messed with my desk. My mother has, and that's fine. I appreciate it, but don't love it. Oh, you do have one in your bedroom. I'm not even clicking on comments anymore. Okay. I think that's the end of the stream. I'm thinking if there's anything else. Join Sam and I Friday for our book talk on the Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation Volume 1 by MXTX, a gay martial arts novel mystery. Fantastic book. That's like Rowan's favorite thing, and it's also one of my favorite things. I love hanging out with you and Sam. You and Sam is just chatting. Yeah, you're making me blush. If you're watching this on the replay, wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's the end of my thing. I don't have anything else. I would ask the other person if they have anything else, but it's just a different picture of me, which is a pretty good picture. Not gonna lie. Kind of evil looking, but I'm into it. The vibe of me wearing a sweater and like the bangs and sitting at the desk and like writing away with like fucking Calcifer in the background verse is very funny. Okay. JC and Sam are sending love back and forth in the comments, which is delightful, and that is how we're going to end this stream. Bye.